Hi there, Catherine Wingy with Austin Aqua Yoga. I wanted to show you a variation of Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana or hand to foot pose, but it's also at the same time a variation of Virabhadrasana 3 or Warrior 3. So there's a lot of really great reasons to practice yoga in the water, but one of the reasons that it's fun to practice yoga in the water is you can take poses and kind of turn them on their sides. For this practice, you're going to need to be in water that is chest up, and preferably a flat floor. You'll need a noodle. And then go ahead and just hold your noodle kind of like a rainbow. And to begin, come to stand in mountain pose. Feel your feet on the floor. And so you're rooting down through the heels, the balls of the feet. You might even want to lift your toes, wiggle them, and then spread them out. And there's a slight drawing in of your low belly as you lift your heart vertically away from your waist. And trying to keep all of this, you're in a vertical line. You're going to shift the weight of your body into your left foot and then slowly extend your right leg forward. Your right leg is straight, reaching through that heel. A few things that can happen here is sometimes we lift that leg a little too high, and what happens is that outer right hip kind of floats up and gets away with us, gets away from us. So if that's the case for you, you may need to lower the straightened right leg a little bit so you can wrap that outer right hip down. Also, another thing that tends to happen is maybe we're just learning how to balance in the water, and balancing in the water is much different than balancing on land. We can't just kind of grip down in the foot and grip down in our standing leg. If you're finding that your foot is really tense, your ankle's really tense, can you kind of draw the energy that you would be using in the foot and the ankle and kind of like reallocate it to your core, like draw it up to the pit of your belly, the low belly, and just gently drawing the tummy in, stabilizing the hips. And the water's going to push you around. Well, the worst that's going to happen, maybe you kind of face dive into the water. That's okay. You just stand back up again. So here's a variation of hand to foot pose. That's one. Now, if you lifted the noodle overhead, here you are in a variation of Warrior 3, actually, right? So my right leg that's extending in front of me actually would be the foot that's on the floor, and my left leg would be the leg that's in the air, right? So I've turned the planes on their side here. So this is another variation that you could do. And then for a more challenging variation, if you'd like a little bit more of a challenge, you could take that noodle and stuff it behind your right knee, bring the palms together in front of your heart, and watching that outer right hip isn't floating up towards the water line. You want to keep wrapping it down. Maybe you need to lower that right leg. So just because the noodle's underneath the leg doesn't mean we want to just kind of let it go up. We're really pressing the leg actively into that noodle. And then, of course, to make it a little bit more challenging, reaching the arms up overhead. Now using your drishti or your gaze, letting your eyes be soft and receptive to take in whatever it is that you're resting your eyes on that's eye level in front of you. Maybe take a round or two more of breath here. And then release, bringing the feet to the floor. Please take a moment and just notice the difference between the right and left side of your body. Maybe noticing any changes in your breath. And then let's do the second side. It's interesting. It's not uncommon that one side is a little bit weaker or tighter than the other. So let's investigate what's going on this side. So to begin, you're going to hold your rainbow, finding your mountain pose, and then shifting the weight of your body into the right foot. Extend left leg forward. Reach through the heel. Bring your awareness to that outer left hip. If it feels like the hip's a little too high, You may need to lower the leg and then wrap that outer left hip down. We want to have the hips level. Lifting the heart away from the waist. So perhaps you'd like to try reaching your noodle overhead. Here we are. We've turned it into a Warrior 3 variation, Virabhadrasana 3 on its side. Yeah, and notice if your balancing foot is starting to overly grip or you're excessively grasping onto keeping yourself upright. So aparigraha, non-grasping, here we are. We're getting an opportunity to, from a place of strength and ease, find our balance. Not attached to staying upright, though working that direction. And then if you'd like to try the third variation, you're going to slide the noodle behind the back of the left knee. Check it out. Is that outer hip wrapping up now? Maybe lower that leg, wrap that outer hip down so now hips are level. And then maybe palms together in front of your heart. So the placement of the noodle under your leg, you could even place it underneath your ankle as well. It gets a little bit more challenging under the ankle. It's a nice place to start, I think, behind the knee. You could even have it behind the hamstring too. And then, of course, the more challenging version would be arms reaching up overhead. What variation is the healthiest, most compassionate, empowering variation for you today? And one more round of breath. Good. And then release. Come back into mountain pose. You can let your noodle go float. We're done with it. Noticing the sensations on the right and left side, left and right side of the body. Good, and then bringing your palms together in front of your heart. And feel into your experience. Notice if there's any pleasure that you're currently experiencing, maybe in your body, in your heart, your mind. Perhaps you're seeing something beautiful in the water in front of you. Give yourself complete permission to enjoy. And then I invite you to think of someone you'd like to dedicate your practice to today. So maybe someone who could use a little bit more pleasure in their lives. See their face clearly. Imagine where they are in their day. And we'll send out this kindness with an exhale. Big breath in. Send it out. See them smiling, feeling good in their body, heart, and mind. Thank you so much for checking this video out. Thank you so much for practicing. If you need more Aqua Yoga resources, please feel free to go to my website, austinaquayoga.com. Pass this video along if you found it helpful, and like it if you like it. So thanks again. Namaste.